If you've been looking for affordable places to live in Frederick County, you've likely come across the town of Walkersville. And if you haven't, then you're in luck, because in this video, I'm going to go over the pros and the cons of living in Walkersville, Maryland, so that you can decide whether or not this is the right place for you to move. So let's just jump right in. Hey everyone, my name is Eddie Brady with Showcase Real Estate here in Maryland, and if this is your first time visiting the channel, thank you for being here. I make videos like this every single week about what you should know about moving to Maryland, the best places to live, the market updates, the top neighborhoods. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. So if you have not heard of Walkersville, you're probably wondering, where is it? Well, it's located in Frederick County, just on the northeast side of Frederick City. It's right on Route 194, and it's only about 12 minutes from downtown Frederick. It's also about 50 minutes from downtown Baltimore and about an hour and 15 minutes from Washington, D.C. with no traffic. And Route 194, or better known as Woodsboro Pike, which cuts dead center through Walkersville, will take you all the way up to Hanover, Pennsylvania, and almost all the way to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And this is a historic toll road. So it's been around since the 19th century, and one of the old toll houses is still in Walkersville to this day, and it's on the National Registry of Historic Places. And current day Walkersville has a population of just over 6,000 residents, but that number has been growing significantly over the years, but it's still nothing compared to the 76,000 residents in Frederick City. So that brings us to the first pro of living in Walkersville, which is the rural feel. The vast majority of Walkersville is still farmland. So if you get off of Woodsboro Pike or just outside of the few developments that are right in the downtown area or just outside of that, you're going to feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. You're going to be surrounded by miles and miles of farmland. And the people that I know that have moved to Walkersville move here for this reason. They don't want to be in the middle of the congested areas. They want to be outside of all that and be able to drive to the things they need. But when they go back home at night, they want a more quiet, slower pace, and that's what you'll find here in Walkersville. And other than that rural feel, the main reason I think that people are moving to the Walkersville area is the home prices. At the time of this video, the median price for a home in Walkersville is $395,000. Compare that to nearby Frederick with a median price of $442,000, and it's no wonder that people are moving to Walkersville more and more. I mean, think about that. That's almost $50,000 less in a median home price just by moving 12 minutes to the north from Frederick. So that is a huge difference. You don't see that in many places in Maryland in such a short distance. So it's no wonder, if you're thinking of moving in Frederick, why you'd also consider Walkersville as a place for you to live. And Walkersville has a pretty good variety of homes on the market. So you have your 19th century farm homes, you have newer colonials, you have your ranchers built in the 60s and 70s, and you also have a very small section of townhomes in Walkersville. So there's a fair amount of options for such a small town. But with that steep discount, you're probably wondering, well, what is keeping people from this area? Is there something wrong with it? But that brings us to another surprising pro of living in Walkersville, which is the schools. According to niche.com, both elementary schools, the middle school and the high school in Walkersville, are rated a B or a B+, and this is also because they're a part of the Frederick County school system, which is ranked the 7th best in the entire state. And another great thing about the schools here is, being a smaller town, the high school, middle school, and both elementary schools are very close to downtown, and that means there's not a long drive or a long bus drive to get to school, unlike some areas in the county where it can be a significant drive to school. And if that's not enough to get you to move to Walkersville, the fourth pro of living in Walkersville is how close it is to all of the shopping and dining you could need. Now, within Walkersville itself, you have a Safeway and some other small commercial retail centers, but just under 10 minutes away, you have all of the shopping centers near Warman's Mill, which is technically Frederick, Maryland, and you have everything you could think of in here. And here's just a few of the things on that list. You have a Walmart Supercenter, a Wegmans grocery store, Giant grocery store, a Home Goods, PetSmart, Lowe's, Marshall's, At Home, Panera, Starbucks, Dunkin', Chipotle, Coal Fire Pizza, IHOP, Chick-fil-A, Subway, and pretty much every other fast food place you can think of. And this is just a few of the places on the list. There's plenty of other commercial centers, there's auto shops, there's a great car wash. So everything you could need is within a 10-minute drive of Walkersville. And if there's something very specific you need, it's unlikely that Frederick would not have it. So just going a few more minutes into Frederick would get you literally everything you need. You'd be close to the hospital system. All the healthcare places are in Frederick. So everything you need is so close by to Walkersville, and that's a huge perk to living in this area. But what stops people from moving here? Well, I'd have to say the first con of living in Walkersville is the lack of things to do. Walkersville downtown is really not much of a downtown at all. They have a main street, but it's mostly residential buildings. There's a couple small shops, a barber shop, a few salons, but really nothing worth walking around and exploring if you're in Walkersville. So the town itself, inside of it, doesn't have much for you to do. But on the flip side of this, with having Frederick just over 10 minutes away, it's really not that much of a downside. I mean, most places in Frederick can be over 10 minutes from downtown anyway. Some of the suburbs of Frederick are more than 15 minutes from downtown. So living in Walkersville, you could be closer to downtown than people living in Frederick. So it's really not that much of a con, but it's something to consider if you're looking for a small town feel with plenty of things to do and a culture in the town. Walkersville is really not going to be that place. Now, what is there to do here? Well, there's a golf course called Glade Valley Country Club. There's a disc golf course and a pretty good handful of local parks that you can explore. But again, if you're looking for more adventure, more things to do, you're going to go to nearby Frederick. All of the hikes that you want to go to are going to be in the western side of Frederick, going into even Washington County. There's not so much to do in the Walkersville area for the outdoor adventurer types. But again, short drive, not too much to give up on there, so a small con. But I think the next con that really prevents people from moving here is the location. Commuting from Walkersville to some of the most popular places where people work, like Baltimore, DC, Fort Meade, and southern Montgomery County, can take a very long time. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of this video, it can be just under an hour to just over an hour, but that's with no traffic. And in this area, if you're from here, you know there is always traffic. So unless it's a federal holiday, it's gonna take you way longer than what Google says to get to your workplace. So I think that's a major con to moving here. Not only that, there's really no public transportation in Walkersville. There is one bus and it runs Monday through Saturday to Frederick. So if you're going Monday through Saturday, you can at least take the bus to Frederick and then from Frederick get on the MARC train or any of their bus systems. But on Sundays, you're pretty much out of luck and have zero transportation out of Walkersville. And the last con of living in Walkersville is the flip side of the coin of all the great shopping and dining in the area, and that's that these shopping centers and dining areas are congested. There are so many people going to the Warman's Mill area for the Market Square Shopping Center, the Clemson Shopping Center. Everything around there is packed at almost all times. I go here myself and I can tell you I've never been there and not had it completely packed in every parking lot. So it might only take you 10 minutes or less to get to these shopping centers, but if you're feeling impatient that day, you might want to put it off because actually shopping and getting everything done in these areas can take a much longer amount of time than you're expecting. And I know this is a first world problem, but we're considering whether or not Walkersville is the place for you to move to, so it's something that we have to keep in mind. And overall, I think the cons on this list don't outweigh the pros. I think there are way more pros to living in Walkersville, and the impact of those means a lot more, like the cost of living and the housing cost being that much lower. That's something people think is very important these days with how high inflation is. So I really think the pros outweigh the cons here. I think you're going to see a lot more development and things to do, shopping and dining in Walkersville in recent years. It's the natural path of progress out of Frederick. People are moving up there because of that cost of living, so it's only a matter of time until more places are built like dining and shopping to fill those needs in Walkersville. So if you are considering moving to Walkersville or any of the surrounding areas, please reach out to me. I would be happy to help you. The easiest way is to just go into the description or the comments below and click on the link to schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. You can also reach me on my cell phone or my email listed below, or if it's easiest, go to my Instagram at Eddie Brady Real Estate and send me a DM on there, and I'd be happy to get you started with a plan for you and your move. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you stay up to date on all of my videos about moving to Maryland.